What is up, YouTube? This is T.Quint1 coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to be talking to you about The Last of Us Season 1, the adaptation of the beloved video game of the same name. It's about to begin its second season, but before that wraps, I'd like to take a look back at the initial batch of episodes we got back in 2023. I think it's safe to say that video games have had a much easier run when it comes to being adapted to the small screen. Castlevania, Fallout, Twisted Metal, not all these are masterpieces, sure, but they're leaps and bounds above the poor excuses for movies that have resulted from trying to adapt the medium. Without putting too fine a point on it, the most successful translation I've seen is The Last of Us. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I went in with quite a bit of skepticism because I didn't see the point. The story of the game is well realized, with great performances and real emotion. Why would I want to watch another version? One that I assumed would be less satisfying because it lacked interactivity. But the thing that makes The Last of Us show work is it finds the right balance. It's respectful to the source material, but it doesn't treat it like sacred texts either. Something needs to be changed to work better in the medium of television, the show changes it. And this show is frankly at its best when it strays far from being a recreation. From giving us a more subtle, underplayed version of David to one of the most tender hours of TV I've ever seen in the heartwarming Bill and Frank episode. The Last of Us is a good TV show first and a good adaptation second. One of the things that translated perfectly, luckily enough, happens to be the most important element of this story, the two lead characters. I'd seen both Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey in other projects, but from pretty early on, I didn't see the two actors I recognized from Game of Thrones. I saw Joel and Ellie. Pascal really nails the violent, unstable part of Joel and the damaged soul within. I really liked how this Joel is a bit more physically fragile than in the game. His age feels like more of an issue. He's deaf in one ear, his knees give him trouble. Obviously, I know he makes it through this journey okay, but it helped bring tension. Ramsey is dead on as well. I know she looks different than the character in the game, but as far as embodying the feel of Ellie, I don't know that there was anyone better. To my surprise, there are a few moments here ripped straight from the game word for word that still have the same impact. And I think it's because they got that core relationship so right. It's really the only thing you needed to bring over for this to work, and they did. Like Craig Mazin's previous show, Chernobyl, the details are also spot on. Every place we visit, we have a good understanding of. And I love the little touch of those gross tendrils that come out of the infected mouths. I think that's really cool. For the most part, the harsh look of the series brilliantly evokes the world of the game. And there's not as much action, admittedly, but that didn't bother me because those moments that would have been filled with gunfights and creeping around bad guys were filled with emotion and character. Even aside from the main duo, the performances are excellent. Gabriel Luna embodies Tommy perfectly. He's one of my favorite characters in the game, and it was nice to see him nailed. Anna Torv is surprisingly intense as Tess, and this is going to sound very mean, but I love that she looks like shit. She looks like a woman who has not had access to a beauty product in 20 years, because she is. And in my opinion, the highlights are Nick Offerman as Bill and Murray Bartlett as Frank. They are the furthest from their game counterparts, but also by far the most compelling. And while finding the right length is something most modern shows struggle with, The Last of Us finds the perfect balance of keeping the momentum going and still having time to breathe. They widen the scope to ancillary characters, not just Bill and Frank, but also there's a moment in the second episode where we see a little bit of how the outbreak began, and I quite appreciated that. I'm as surprised as anyone, but for me, The Last of Us show does for TV what the game did for video games. It's a great mythic journey with incredible characters, world class acting, and a compelling world to explore. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. This is Steve Quinton 1 signing out.